This is Mr. Kissing. Hello. Today we are going to do chromatography, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's get started. First, you need some filter paper here, and then we're going to do chromatography on a pen. We'll try this pen here. And so what you're going to need to do to your filter paper, you're going to need to determine how far down into the water that your chromatography paper is going to go. So I think it's going to go that far, so I'm going to make a bend up here at the top. Okay, so I know it's going to go about that far. So where the bend is where you're going to put it on your pencil. So I've already done one here. I made the bend. You would wrap it around the pencil, cut off the excess, or rip it off, and then you're going to tape it to the pencil. Because we want to set that pencil into our water where the paper is going to lay down. And so this one's a little too long, so I'm going to wrap it up a little bit. Okay. Now the pencil's going to sit up there. Yeah, that's about right. So it's going to sit in there in the water, and we just want the end of the filter paper to touch the water. I can even take it up just a little bit more. Okay. Alright, so that's going to work there. Now, what we do is we're going to make a dot on this pencil. And we're going to place our sample on it. We want to try to put the sample in the middle of our paper, and we want to place it high enough where it's not going to be sitting in the water. So I'm going to check this again. You should make a mark. That's where it's at. Sorry, I can't film today. Alright. You should make a mark where the water's gonna hit your filter paper if your pencil's laying on top. Just like all these without filter paper. That's how your pencil's gonna lay on there. So let me look here. Okay, we need to go just up a little bit. I'm just eyeballing this. Again, you make your mark. I think right about in there will do. And you're just going to make a dot. That's all we do. And again, we don't want the dot sitting in the water. Okay, so you're just going to take your pencil and you're going to lay it in, and that's what you want right there. See how the dot is not sitting in the water. Now I could have placed my dot a little farther down, but that's okay. Main thing is we don't want the dot in the water. If the dot gets in the water, I can show you what happens. So, as I'm filming this, the water's going up the filter paper, and it is interacting with the marker dot that I made. I used black marker, and you can see there some color showing up. And I'm going to let this run for a little while. Hopefully I can fast forward it, and we're going to see what's going to happen. You're going to do this in the lab, but you're going to do this to figure out an unknown sample. Okay, we'll watch this. Okay, so I'm going to let that keep going. I will show you when the end point is. If we zoom in here, you can kind of tell on the filter paper where the water is. It's at the very tip of the filter paper. I'm not going to take this out yet. We want it to go as long as we can. We just basically don't want it to touch the pencil. So right before it gets to the pencil, that water line, we'll take this out. So while that happens, I'm going to show you what you're not going to do and why you're not going to do it. So what I don't want to happen is to see people do this. So you have your filter paper here, and you're like, oh, I don't care where the dot is, so I'm going to put it down here at the bottom, because Mr. K-Singer said put it at the bottom. So I'm going to put my dot there. And I'm going to make it really big, which you don't need a big dot, but more is better, so I'm going to put a big dot. And then you're going to go, and you're going to be like, oh, I'm not listening to Mr. K-Singer, blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to put it in there. So there we go. It's not working, Mr. K-Singer. It's not working because you're just in the water now. You need the water to go up and through the filter paper. You don't want the dot in the water. Don't do that. So it's pulled off the paper and then it's in the water, and we don't want that. We want this to occur, and that's happening nicely. So I'm going to let this sit here a while so I can fast forward on YouTube. How's it going to sit? So, I think I'm going to run out of minutes here, and then I'm not going to be able to upload it to YouTube because the file will be too big. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. You need to keep going with yours. And if you look here, you can kind of see where the watermark is. If I could grab a pen to point it out to you. The watermark's right here. You need to go ahead and let it go up to about in here. But yeah, that's a nice chromatography sample here. We had the pen mark here, it was all black, and then now you can see what happened. Alright, so now it's going to be your turn.